What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about what, in my opinion, could be the most negative thing about Black Panther being announced. Now, I have nothing against that. I have nothing against potentially playing as him. He easily looks the coolest of the 3 DLC characters that we've gotten so far. But I do have something to say here, and I know maybe I make some people mad when I make these videos kind of criticizing Avengers. I should probably start out this video by saying that I feel like at this point, I just don't care anymore. I gotta be honest. I have actually always been honest with you guys, but I'm gonna speak my mind, and if that upsets people, it's going to do that. I have to get over it, and I'm going to, okay? I'm excited for Black Panther. I think that what they're actually adding, especially the villain sectors, remember when the game came out, I had a big problem with the lack of villains and the lack of, again, things to do, which obviously was not a minority thing to say, but it does seem like they're adding stuff throughout this year. But the issue is, they did the roadmap, and they showed what's coming. Now, I love roadmaps. Roadmaps are actually really cool. I have nothing against them. In fact, I think that pretty much any game that has, additional stuff coming to it, no matter how little or how much, whatever, I really think a roadmap is a really cool thing to do, and it makes me very excited when developers do it. Now, I get it. They've had more than just this roadmap, but what scared me about the roadmap is that there were no DLC characters whatsoever in it. Now, clearly, the Black Panther thing, that was meant to be the surprise, the one last thing kind of thing at the end of the Avengers part of the presentation. So I get why he wasn't on that roadmap, although he does come out around the exact same time as some things that they actually showed in the roadmap. But my issue is this, and the issue is Spider-Man, okay? But it's also, I guess, Black Panther just in it of himself. We get Hawkeye. We get Hawkeye today. Now, I'm not going to be playing it today. I still have to watch Justice League. I'm going to be doing that probably, by the time you guys see this video, probably in like 2 to 3 hours I'm going to be watching Justice League. So there goes the rest of my day, okay? So I probably won't be playing it for a little while, but we have 2 DLC characters. The game came out in September. We have 2 DLC characters. That's not very good. Then, we're getting Black Panther sometime later this year, which to me says fall 2021 is when we're going to get Black Panther. Could it be August? Could it be September? Sure. But if we get to September, okay, full year after the game comes out, and we have 3 DLC heroes, I mean, wanting War Machine, wanting anybody, obviously there was like the leak, and there's been actually multiple data breaches or data leaks of which characters are going to be coming next. All those, I get excited for some of them. I'm kind of upset that they wouldn't have upped Doctor Strange or like Scarlet Witch like to the tippity top, okay? Because I think those 2 characters would actually be really, really cool, even in a game like this. But to have just these 3, and then to not have Spider-Man, so that's a thing that, like, I wonder what in God's name is going on here. I have theorized about Spider-Man actually quite a bit on the channel. We've made videos specifically talking about Spidey in this game, and one of the things I've said is, like, people have asked, would it be canceled? Would they just not do it? I mean, how I understand it is Sony paid them money, probably millions of dollars. Now, maybe not a ton, maybe like 1, 2, 3 million, but they paid them, I would assume, a large amount of money to anybody. $1 to $3 million is a lot. And they said, you give us an exclusive character, in this case, Spider-Man. I don't know if you can take that money back. I don't know if Sony is looking at this game and saying the player base is disgusting. Why do we pay to have 50,000 people? And again, I'm not saying if you guys like the game, you're terrible people. I'm not saying you're not allowed to like this game. You absolutely are. Okay, I have nothing against that. But I'm just saying, from their standpoint, they're looking and they're saying, okay, say 50 to 100,000 people play on PlayStation. We paid millions to get Spider-Man into 50,000 people's homes. That's it. And that's not really worth it, like, actually whatsoever, in my opinion, and probably in their opinion. So while I have always thought that it wasn't canceled, and that, like, I really have no worries about it, just the fact that we are going to have to wait a while, at this point, like, yes, Sony could do their own separate thing, say around, like, E3 time, or say, like, the next State of Play, and they could say, hey, we have Avengers here, and Square Enix comes, and Avengers does their thing, and they have Spider-Man. They show Spider-Man, and that also comes out with Black Panther. Well, that obviously makes it a little bit, nicer, but as of right now, we have no clue what in God's name they're doing. They could be doing Black Panther in the fall, and then they could do Spider-Man for, like, Christmas time. We could be waiting until December. We could be waiting later than December, right? Now, remember, Spider-Man was supposed to come out, like, March. It was supposed to be March 2021, so clearly we've missed that one. It's just, again, you can really take it, either way is taking it negative, okay? So there really isn't a positive approach to it. The negative with Black Panther himself is, I mean, it is good. I'm excited to play as him, and I will. Hawkeye just comes at a really bad time because of Justice League, because of all this. My anniversary with my wife is tomorrow. My child's birthday is next week, and so there's a lot of stuff going on. So I guess, like, personally, and even just in the world, Justice League is a big deal to a lot of people. There's a lot of things going on. So Hawkeye is just a bad timing kind of thing, specifically for me and maybe to others. Black Panther coming out, though, I would say get him back, or, you know, get the game back to play it. But to have 3 characters in a year for a game that you really seem like a plan on having more, and you could say, well, they never guaranteed it, but the way they talked seemed like maybe not monthly, because that does seem, that is actually pretty tough to do a new character every month, but let's say every 2 months. They failed. Say every 3 months, they still failed, okay? Because then you'd have 4 characters. So, I mean, just the amount of stuff we've gotten in this time is not good, and I honestly believe it's because they don't care about the game anymore. Not like the people making it. I do think they care. The higher-ups, I really feel like, have moved everybody away from the project. I feel like there's a skeleton crew still working on this game, and that's why it's taking so long, is because they don't have anybody working on it, because the game wasn't profitable, and Square Enix was like, whoops, let's move you on to something else, and that's what happened. In fact, we know that when this game came out, 2 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, they announced that that studio that made this game has moved on to a new game. So just by that alone, it's like, who's actually working on this, right? So that's nothing that the people that are actually working on this, there's nothing they can do about that, but it's just disappointing. And then in terms of Spider-Man, it's like, are we ever, like, to be honest with you, I don't care. I don't care if we get him or if we don't get him. I think to PlayStation fans, that would have kind of been a cool thing. I think to the gaming industry, it really upset a lot of people because obviously Sony with Insomniac took Spider-Man away from everybody else. And then for Avengers, they did have a chance like, if you wanted them to be quote-unquote nice, they could have said, oh, let's have Spider-Man be a character that anybody, on any console can play. So, like, to some people, obviously, like, it robbed them of that possibility, okay? And that's, if you want to believe, if you want to think that, it's up to you if you want to think that or not. That's completely up to you. I have nothing against it. If you're anti it, or if you love the fact that Sony did it, I have nothing against that either, okay? But the fact is, maybe it's just better that we leave the game alone forever, and we just kind of move on to our next thing in our lives, because it's just, I don't know, it's not a good look. I'm not even going to talk about the Hawkeye stuff. I'm not impressed whatsoever with what they showed about Hawkeye, but I don't know. I'll play it at some point, maybe over this weekend or next week, but the Black Panther thing, I am very excited that he's coming out, but I don't love the fact that it's going to take like a full year since the game came out, and that's another thing too. Final thing is, between Kate Bishop and Hawkeye wasn't that long, but it seems like between Hawkeye and Black Panther is going to be enormously long. So that's another thing where it's like they took a long time between launch and Kate Bishop, then not so much time between Kate Bishop and Hawkeye. You could see it as like a positive thing, like they're going in a positive direction. Maybe we can get all of these characters within like 2 months of each other. And instead, they're saying, well, no, we're going to go back to like the 4 or 5 month thing. And that's seemingly, they could come out earlier, but seemingly that's what's happening. So we'll have to see how it goes. Let me know, guys, in the comments below. What do you think? Are you disappointed? And when we're going to get Black Panther, what in God's name do you think is going on with Spider-Man? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turn on so you know all these videos go up. If you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, we're so close to 2,000 followers. Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. Link for it's in the description, or of course you can look me up over on Twitter. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you all on the next video.